Thank you for joining me today. It's Brian Gubernick, and welcome to the No Days Off podcast, where we believe that every single day brings an opportunity to get better. I want you to picture Tiger Woods on the 18th green. I'm talking Tiger of yesteryear, the clutch Tiger Woods that everyone knew, that became so famous. I want you to picture Tiger on the 18th green. The tournament is on the line. He's probably wearing his red shirt. He's crouched low. He's scanning the slope of the green, and his eyes are locked on the line between the ball and the cup. You could see it in his face. His pupils are narrow. His breathing slows, and everything in the world really disappears except for that tiny white ball and the hole that's, say, 10 feet away. That's actually what we call Tiger's eyes. This focus that's so sharp, it actually looks like a weapon. And inside and outside golf, they refer to this focus again as Tiger's eyes. Now, Tiger's eyes isn't really about his talent. What's it about? It's about his presence. It's about his ability to really drown out the noise and visualize the outcome and execute under pressure. It's why he's one of the greatest to ever do it. Tiger never really wondered what might happen. He sees what, in fact, will happen. And then he makes it real. That's why he was so unstoppable down the stretch. Now, when he has these tiger's eyes, when his eyes are focused in the way I'm describing, there's a singular focus, which means there's no multitasking. It means only the mission matters. There's also emotional control because the pressure doesn't shake him. It sharpens him, right? Now, there's also this visualizing of the win, right? Seeing success before it happens. And then lastly, when I think around the attributes of Tiger's eyes, I think muscle memory ends up meeting mindset. I think it's about preparation, or at least trust in preparation. Now, why am I talking so much around Tiger's eyes? Well, I think, of course, no surprise, that this degree of focus, this idea that you can lock in to this degree, it applies to business and, of course, in leadership. I would ask our No Days Off Nation, what are your 18th green moments in business right now? Maybe it's making the pitch that could change your business. Maybe it's having some sort of high stakes conversation with a key partner or a key employee, or presenting to investors or to your board, or launching a new initiative that has a really tight deadline and everything's on the line. Maybe it's negotiating a big deal where margins and trust are on the line. I think these are your clutch moments, or examples of your clutch moments, your 18th green moments when you've got to lock in and have this degree of focus. Now, when I think around this sort of focus, I can't help but think around Pareto's principle, which is the 80-20 principle. Not every moment is, in fact, a big moment. But 20% of your moments probably drive 80% of your results. So I think the mistake we all make is we treat all moments the same. But Tiger doesn't bring that same intensity to practice putts as he does to a Masters final, and neither should you. Don't get me wrong. He takes his practice putts seriously. And he practices these things so that in the moment at the Masters, he could focus. But that doesn't mean treat everything the same. You shouldn't do that. And Tiger certainly didn't do it. So I think, if you want to have this degree of focus, if you want to have your own version of Tiger's eyes, I think you've got to identify your high leverage moments each week. Maybe look at the calendar and plan, okay, what are the 2 or 3 or 4 things that matter most this week that have the greatest impact? And then prepare disproportionately for them. Enter them with full intention, with no distractions, with no ego, with no fear. I think it's how, again, you figure out, okay, where do I have to apply this degree of focus? So I think there's really, once you've done this underwriting, you could develop your own version. And I think there's, call it 3-4 steps to developing your version of Tiger's eyes. Number 1, know your moment. right? The clarity is what creates intensity. If you don't know what matters most, you're going to focus on everything and then end up executing on nothing. So know your moment, number one. Number two, much like Tiger, I think you've got to create a ritual. See, Tiger steps in the putts the same way every single time. And in business, I think we can create a repeatable, call it pre-performance routine for key moments. Maybe it's quiet time, or maybe it's reviewing, the conversation in your head, or reviewing key goals, or at least visualizing success. Maybe even breathing, working to calm your heart rate before this very key moment a few times a week. So number one, know your moment. Number two, create a ritual. Number three, block the noise. In the business world, this means no phone, no Slack, no multitasking. It's just one shot. It's just one swing. So block the noise. And then number four, visualize the win. Tiger never just hoped. He sees the putt go in. So see your call going well, or the client saying yes, or the service or product landing, or the outcome that you desire coming to fruition. Visualize that win. I think there's lots of people in business that we have seen these kind of real life examples of Tiger's eyes. Steve Jobs, before every Apple keynote, the guy was obsessive in terms of his rehearsal and preparation. He was locked in, certainly was present on stage. You could feel the intensity. Serena Williams is a great one. Yes, this is outside, it's outside of business, but I think it's still really applicable. Her serve at match point wasn't just physical. It was a ritual. It was composure. It was intention. I think business leaders need to serve like that. I've got to talk around our buddy Warren Buffett. When he's acquiring new companies, his deep, focused reading and decision-making was dialed. It had to be. He filters out noise. He zeroes in on a few companies that match his exact criteria. And as of the past handful of years, he hasn't acquired much. That's how focused he is. He's waiting for the one. So I think, we all, again, can develop our own version of Tiger's eyes. And I want to ask you this question. I think the focusing question for the No Days Off Nation this week: where do I need to bring Tiger's eyes this week? What's my high leverage moment, and how will I prepare for it with focus and with intention? I want you to write that question down, those questions down. Where do I need to bring Tiger's eyes this week? What's my high leverage moment? How will I prepare for it with focus and intention? Write that down. Sit with it. Plan for it. Because if you're not locked in when it matters most, you're probably just another player in the field. So I want to get you focused. I want you to develop your own version of Tiger's eyes. And I want you to apply it to the 2 or 3 or 4 areas that are most important, that are getting you 80% of the results in the coming week. That's all I have for you today in the No Days Off podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, every single day brings a new opportunity to get better. So let's get after it.